Hi everyone, welcome to yet another video. In this video, we'll talk about exploring LDAP when you have credentials and port 389 and 53 and 88 are open. Now, why am I saying that besides 389, 88 and 53 should be open? Because here we'll be dealing with Kerberos authentication, right? So as I talked about in the first video that there are multiple types of authentication. Here we are dealing with Kerberos, and with Kerberos you require 53 as well because it would be using the domain name services as well. So there are a lot of different tools that we can use for our advantage. I'll be talking about three of them, out of which two of them are more important than the rest. So LDAP search we have already discussed. There is something called LDAP search AD, and this gives you fairly advantage over a good advantage over LDAP search. So here I have Python 3 LDAP search.ad dash L specifies the domain IP, dash D specifies the domain name, U specifies the username, P specifies the password, and T would be, I'll tell you what that is. So if I were to do Python 3 LDAP search LDAP, here as you can see, T specifies the type, and type could be info, who am I, search, admins, show admins, user list, curve roast, ASP rep roast. So there are a lot of different things that we can do. Here I'm trying to find out the password policy that is associated with this domain. So you can use this way to kind of get either the TGT or hashes depending upon, like, and you can crack that to get the actual password. Now that would depend upon various different scenarios, but here is just trying to showcase different types and different tools. So here as you can see, we get returned with the minimum password length is 7, there is no lockout threshold, password complexity is disabled, so, and the max password is, as you can see, is too much. So this is the tool called ldapsearch.py.ad. Now there is another called LDAP domain dump, and this in my opinion is way better if you are a visual person. So dash u specifies the domain name followed by the username, dash p for the password, and then the domain IP. Now where did I get the domain name? As you can see, I ran an map and it returned the domain name, as you can see. So I'm using the same domain name over here, and after it has done doing its work, it will return you a few files. Now you can use the HTML files. I will do open domain groups.html, and this will return me the list of domain groups. Sometimes you can find a lot of information here in the description section, like hard-coded credentials or even certain hints to passwords. So you can use these HTML files or even the CSV and JSON files. So sometimes not all the information would be written in HTML, it could be somewhat in JSON file as well. So this is LDAP domain dump. Now if you're a third type of person wherein you want to use this and you want to use a tool called Bloodhound to kind of map the attack surface and see how you can hop on from one compromised user to another compromised user, you can use something called Bloodhound Python. So with Bloodhound Python, you can use dash C all, so this will dump everything, and tag you for the username, P for the password, NS for the name server, which is going to be the domain IP, and then the domain, which is dash D. And as you can see, if I do ls, it has returned a lot of information. I can use this information and I can send it over to Bloodhound. Now Bloodhound would get me a very beautiful picture of the different users, groups, service accounts that are there and information associated with those. Now you cannot use the information used with LDAP domain dump to directly use it with Bloodhound, but you can use it. You can use Bloodhound Python's output as input to Bloodhound. Similarly, you can also use the output of sharphound. So let's say you have port 3389 open, you RDP to that machine and you run sharphound.exe tool. Sharphound.exe will return you a zip file. That zip file will contain the same contents that are there in this JSON files. So you can use that zip file as an input to Bloodhound as well. So there are different ways in which you can use this data. So here what we learned is that if you have valid credentials, how you can use different tools to kind of enumerate the domain. So I hope this was of some use to you.